The moon's still here after
It is.
your time of absence. I've had multiple guests knock it down, which
Well,
I normally cut out.
I'm not going to do that.
I appreciate that.
I don't think.
I do appreciate that. Here we go. You ready?
Ready.
I'm ready. Let's get going.
Let's go.
I saw you bring that bag in here. I'm a little curious. What's in there? Curious and nervous, I will say.
I brought a collaborative activity.
A collaborative. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to see it?
I've wanted nothing more than to see it.
All right, we can do that. It's going to make a lot of noise.
Making a difference now and forever.
Little bottle.
Wathens, is that how you say that?
Sure.
Wow. You brought some excitement.
Yeah. Just a couple little things from my collection
I like this.
of things.
Jefferson's Ocean, aged at sea. Blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, very small batch. The two things about this bottle that I really like. It has a map on the back.
Yep.
My wife and I like to travel. You like to travel. It's like a huge part of our lifestyle and even interest. Like when it comes to like, think about your random trivia night at your local wings place. Like that's my favorite category is like geography, countries, rivers, what's the largest desert, those type of stuff. It's just like, I don't even know all the answers. I just like, it's the one I know the most about, like compared to like sports history and like art history.
That would be more me.
Yeah.
Not art history.
Yeah.
I'm a doofus. But.
Sports, yeah. And then it's aged at sea. I got the boats in the background, and there's a ship on it. I just like that it's
So if it's aged at sea,
water
what do you
themed.
think it tastes like?
Sea salt.
It's got a little salinity to it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I'm excited to try it. Speaking of sea salt, I just ventured into the world of sea salt hairsprays. Not like it comes in like a tube bottle. I'm thinking like what my mom had when I was a kid, like those black like cylinder tubes, and it's just like
Aquanet.
Yeah, it's like it's not like an old Febreze thing. It's more of like a squirt gun, like a small batch made. I don't know. It's got like a tobacco and vanilla scent to it.
Ooh.
It's manly, right? It's like there's the mustaches on it or whatever.
You got to make it manly. It's hairspray.
Yes, and you have sea salt in the name, so it's like you got to make it You got to make it manly. And I started using it. It smells good, and it's supposed to add like texture to your hair. I don't know if it does that with the hairline going every day.
My
now.
son does something with a salt based pomade or
Yeah, I have the pomade as well.
and he's like, yeah, I got my stuff. And I'm like, dude, all he does is fluff his hair out to look like a Muppets character.
Yeah.
So,
which one would you like to try first?
well, what? I would say this. Let's go with this one.
You sure?
Old Faithful. Yeah.
You don't want to save the best for last? Isn't that it looks like, based on it being empty, almost empty.
It is my favorite.
It looks like it might be your favorite.
It's my favorite one to share.
Okay. We can have that one first.
I think it's delightful.
Okay.
That one's just like strange. So like if we go like normal palate and then you can see like
more
a huge
venturous
difference.
Yeah. Let's do it.
In the profile.
I guess I got to chug this water.
You got to drink that water.
Yeah. Very generous of you and thoughtful.
Oh yeah. That's so good.
You normally drink it neat or on the rocks?
Whatever you like, brother.
I'll go neat. I feel like when you're having something special like this, I can smell it from here. It's like, it's almost like there's some vanilla or some honey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little glossy, I would say, on the tongue.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hold this thought. Now I know why it's your favorite.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Now what all the more mature gentlemen would say is like, ooh, that's smooth, which is a terrible way to describe a spirit, but it's not fiery, but it's not watery. Like it's an easy drinker.
Yes. It's probably one of the best bourbons I've put to my lips.
Oh, look at that.
Top 3 for sure.
What's your top 1?
Weller. Green bottle.
Oh, really?
I don't even know what it's called. when I was buying my
Just reserve, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Weller Reserve.
Yeah, Weller Reserve. Yeah. I mean, for the record, I'm very novice in the bourbon world. I have like maybe 3 or 4, 5, 6 bottles, just some generic options when people come over, or whatever. And I don't drink it that often. But when I was buying Joy's engagement ring, the ring store I went to, they have like a little celebration bar, whatever. Hey, you want a drink? And the guy was pretty knowledgeable on an assortment of spirits. And he's like, "You like bourbon?" I was like, I mean,
you're like, yeah,
sure. I'm a man after the age of 21. Yeah, I like bourbon. And he let me try the Weller Reserve, and at the time it was like $30 a bottle. This is like 2018. Now it's like a lot more, and it became very rare because you couldn't find it.
It's kind of hard to find.
Couldn't find it. He said it's a $30 bottle of whiskey or bourbon, but it drinks like a 80, maybe a $60 bottle of whiskey or bourbon. And I agree. I had to agree with him. It was very for the price, it punched above its weight class. Its weight class. So and this is really good too. I am excited to try both of them. Well, I had the thing on the table a second ago, and I think it's a good time to bring it back. I hope you don't mind. I had to be a little cheeky with the bowls. We just celebrated 250 years of
America.
God bless America. So we had them out recently from a 4th of July escapade we had. And I thought it looks kind of dumb. You probably can't see on the camera, but side by side, it kind of looks like the American flag with the blue and the red.
It does.
I guess from the perspective of the camera, it would look that way. Anyways, so
these colors don't run.
I know. And what are the bowls for? Like, why do you have bowls on your table all of a sudden? Well, interesting question. I'm glad you asked. The way I normally do my show, which you know this, of course. You're a returning guest. Thanks for coming back, by the way.
Very exciting.
I ask you to fill out a form. What are some things that you're passionate about, topics you're interested in? You fill it out. We use that as like a quick guide to get our maybe 5 topics that we'll talk about throughout the show, and we kind of go through it that way. But you actually presented this idea to me that we could both write 6, 7, 8 topics that the other person doesn't know. Topics, questions, inquiries. I don't no idea what you wrote in the paper, and you have no idea what I wrote in the paper.
I don't.
And we kind of put them in this bowl, mixed it up before we got in here, and we'll just take turns drawing and see where the conversation goes.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Or right.
Or right. I guess it's good to know. We decided it'd be kind of fun to add a little variation with a rule. We each get 1 pass. So if you pick a card that I'm like, not answering that, I can pass. But then we also each get a double down virtual token or whatever, where you can make the other person go, no, I'm using my token right now. I want you to, you got to give like at least 5 minutes or 3 minutes on the subject. And that can be for something that someone passes on, or if they've only shared like 30 seconds and you want to dig a little bit more out of it, you can use it anytime. So 4 tokens total. We each get 2, 1 pass, 1 nope, I'm forcing the other person to talk. And I think it will make for an interesting conversation.
So we can use the make someone talk token on a pass?
Yes.
Ooh. Diabolical.
Diabolical indeed.
I like it.
Yeah. So make sure you save your pass for something you really do not want to talk about. Not just like,
I don't want to predict the future.
Yeah.
I won't pass.
Okay.
I have an opinion on everything.
Okay.
So
let's get going. Why don't you start us off?
Ooh.
The first pick. And I guess when we're done with the topic, we'll put it in the star-spangled bucket.
Ooh, I love this one. A place you want to go, but shouldn't.
Just that's
There's so many ways to
it's a good thing we got that one now instead of when the bourbon was already flowing like heavy at the end. A place I want to go but shouldn't. Probably, I shouldn't be self-filtering, but I am.
It's okay.
Las Vegas. Never been. I think you've been before,
never
right?
been?
Never been.
Oh, I've been a bunch.
Yeah. 2 vices run in the bloodline, if you will, of the family, which, you know, some people say that's not real. Some people say, yeah, it's real. Alcoholism is definitely real, but like gambling, is it real? Who knows? But anyways, gambling and is like something that's like definitely in the bloodline as far as like it's been a problem with some relatives. So not close, not people I know very like close, but like distant relatives. And so it's like, I don't know. It's never been something I've prioritized, but it's like, I would kind of like to go there. You can go there and do nothing wrong, but you can also go there and like put your house and your mortgage or whatever people do to like go in the hole if it's a problem, for gambling. So I would say Las Vegas. I like to go there, but probably shouldn't. I probably still will one day, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the great thing about Las Vegas is you can go and not even gamble. I've probably been 12 times because every tech conference is in Vegas pretty much. So the facilities with the hotels, they can do it all, right? So you're going to Vegas if you're in tech. I did not go until I was probably in my late 20s, and it was overwhelming. I was like, "Ooh, what do we do here?" And I like to play cards. I like to gamble a little bit ish. Might have some money on some of these World Cup teams, but whatever. But it's actually like it's an awful town and a great town all in one, which is what's kind of the most interesting thing about it. But you could totally go and not gamble $1 and have a great time. There's so many like awesome things about Las Vegas, and there's a whole bunch of terrible things about Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
But you kind of, the terrible things won't bind you if you don't allow it. So you should go.
That's a good point. You can go for the good parts, but not necessarily for the bad parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just did a trip in April with the family. And we went to Utah and we did all these national parks and hiking. It was incredible. But you fly into Vegas. So we did a day in Vegas when we were done with the 5 national parks we went to. And my kids are 13, 11, 8. So there's plenty to see in Las Vegas I'd prefer they not see. But there's also some really cool stuff. Like they got to go to a Cirque du Soleil show, which was, because they have 5 of them. So it was easy, pretty affordable to do it. It's not like when it comes to your town and you're fighting everybody for tickets. And they had an unbelievable time. And my kids, like me, like to eat. So the restaurant scene is unbelievable.
I can imagine.
In Las Vegas. I mean, you could just go there to eat. It's so good. But there's also some weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Vegas showgirl that on the street that whipped me while I was holding my daughter's hand walking to a thing we were going to. And she wasn't very clothed. That wasn't fun. That was like, look that way.
Yeah.
But, that's probably the 10%. 90% of it is pretty great.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely a lot more intense than what my wife and I experienced in Key West. We were there for the first time just a couple months ago as well. And we're walking down Duval Street, which for those who've never been, that's like the main strip. That's like the mini, very small version of like the Vegas Strip. There's no casinos or anything, but that's like where everything's at. That's where the shops are, the restaurants, the bars, the ice cream parlors, the candy shops. Mm-hmm. And the way I would describe Key West, especially Duval Street in particular, is that it's not kid unfriendly, but it's also not kid oriented. So there's there's several strip clubs on Duval Street, and as you're walking, there are ladies standing outside. Maybe not quite a showgirl, but they're like, and they're not barely dressed either. They're wearing enough clothes that they could be mistaken as a normal beachgoer, right? So it's like they're not like.
But they're promoting their club.
They're promoting the club, like they're specifically there for a reason, and it was a little not jarring, but it made Joy feel a little uncomfortable, and it was a little uncomfortable for the family. And I'm pushing the stroller right with our baby in it, right. And it's like this isn't like you said, like it's like you're holding your daughter's hand and you're getting whipped by a showgirl. It's like,
well, she also missed my rear end, so she actually whipped my back, which kind of hurt.
But I guess great. It's even the image of it, like for your children, is probably like
I spent the next 8 minutes explaining to her, like, why is she out here and why isn't she wearing a lot of clothes? And,
Yeah.
my daughter's very inquisitive, the most inquisitive. So, I spent 20 minutes having to explain to her, like, well, this is the world and not everything's awesome. And, this is what's being promoted. And, we're not super into this. So we just, keep our eyes where they need to go. So,
Yeah. That's probably the best way you can handle it.
Yeah.
I guess the sucky part is that you have to have that conversation with your
100%.
daughter, right? It's like,
But she's going to find it anyway.
yeah.
So, she notices everything.
Yeah.
So, I guess being in Las Vegas, if I wasn't prepared to answer 149 questions around, like, what is that? Maybe that wasn't the spot, but that's the airport we flew into. So that it is what it is. So
There's probably people listening who would say, why would you take your kid to Las Vegas? But then the antithesis of that argument is it better for her to have that negative experience within the safety of her family?
Sure.
Where her dad can explain it. Hey, this isn't a way of life we agree with.
Controlled environment.
You control the outcome versus there's an exposure later in life. That's what happened with me with alcohol. No exposure to alcohol as a kid. Never in the home. You die and go to hell if you drink it. That was the way I lived in the world I grew up in. So I go to my first wedding away from my parents when I'm like 17 years old, and I see for the first time in my life like 500 beer bottles, like being like I was a friend of the family that was doing. So I was helping and I just remember feeling so uncomfortable because I was suddenly exposed in a huge way to like something I'd never had exposure to and was told it's evil, and it was just a weird experience, right? Is the point I'm making. And so of course we would want to maybe avoid like situations where a showgirl is whipping your back with your family by your side, but in that environment you have the chance now to like teach something to your children, right? And something you didn't plan. You didn't intend to go to Vegas to have that happen, but it's like you can now alter the negative and turn it into something
that's never happened in the 11 other times I've been to Las Vegas. So it's like you don't plan around those things, but actually having the opportunity to communicate why and what that is and what our standards are as a family and related to our faith and all that. It's just a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't want my daughter to have to sort that out on her own. And, that inevitably happens, as we become, we go from children to young adults. Mm-hmm. There are going to be situations where like, ooh, what does this mean? Why am I here? Why is that weird? And that's hard to sort out if you don't have the right standards or the right people around you supporting you through that. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So mine's Vegas. Where would you want to go? Or are we doing where you can ask in return?
Yeah,
okay.
I think we can do that.
And then can you pass that? Like could that be one of your passes? If you can choose to use a pass on anything.
I could if I was lame.
Yeah, if you're lame. Yeah.
No, I would like to go to like all of the Middle East. I want to see all of it. It's not reasonable, nor all that safe most of the time, but
it's affordable.
It is affordable. But I know someone who he took this was maybe 8 or 9 years ago. He took his family to Egypt, which you can go to Egypt. It'll be okay. Maybe. But it's it's a little high on the risk tolerance of what you would maybe want to do with your family. Yeah. There are places my wife should probably never go.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I would be bummed out because I want to go see these ancient cities and cultures. I want to see all that strange stuff. A lot of it is the basis of what a lot of people believe. So I want to go there and I want to see that. So while I wouldn't be concerned to go to Israel or something like that, I think that would be fine. Other parts of the middle, I want to go to Afghanistan. I want to go see it. I want to understand it. I don't want my view to be completely from movies and television shows and what I see on whatever news program for whatever that is. But it's that's
a good point.
It's tough, so I would just go I probably shouldn't go there. Could I go there? Absolutely. I think I have an attraction to going to places that I shouldn't go, which is probably like kind of the point of the question. Like I've always wanted to go to Cuba. I could go to Cuba, I think.
Yeah.
There was a time where we could, and I think it's actually gotten a little bit more constricted, but like I could figure it out.
There's like 10 reasons that you can apply for and go to Cuba and Venezuela, if that's also banned, or whatever the countries that are banned.
Right.
It's like you're not tourist reasons, like you're a government, you're working with the government somehow.
Sure.
You're in the media, you're doing some sort of media, or you're doing some sort of documentary, or not documentary, but like you're doing some sort of journalism purpose there.
Right.
Relief or aid, you can apply for that. You know, you could set up a mission trip with your church right now, get the approval from the government, and go on a mission trip to Cuba. Like, so it's like you can do. There's ways to go. It's not like illegally banned, except for like secret agents, like you see in James Bond movies. Like you can actually go. It's just not tourist, or it's not tourism. Is not.
Well, I just want to go eat and like look at cool buildings.
That
and
torta is calling your name.
Bring me torta.
The torta de cubano.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could just go to Miami and I can get some of that, right? But no, I mean, it's just like it's a place that we haven't been able to go as Americans for a long time, and I know we can kind of go now. And there was ways around it before, but
it's just heavily restricted.
It's just, you know, I'm like, I want to see the things that are not easy to see.
Why are they being hidden from us?
Exactly.
Maybe 98% of the reason is good, but like the 2% that's like makes zero sense. Like that weight balance of the reason why American civilians are not permitted to travel as tourists to places like Cuba. Why is that?
Well, it's just geopolitics
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right? It's like if there was no embargo on Cuba or Venezuela or any other places, you're bringing your dollars there and you're funding their economy. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the most straightforward way to think about it. It's like we don't want to help because we want them to bend the knee. And I don't say that like in a negative fashion. You should bend the knee. We're the United States of America. Bend the knee. Bend the knee, Canada. You want to. You want to be 51.
You want it. That's hilarious. All right, next topic.
Like, moving on.
Yeah. No, it's good. I just
No, you're just,
I'm so excited to see what
your
else you wrote.
Canadian fans are going to be coming after me. And my employer.
I don't think they can get over the free healthcare thing. In their head, it's like that's insurmountable. And
you know what? They have a good argument because the healthcare here is interesting. And
but then what are they paying in taxes? Like, it's not.
It's a lot.
It's not free. Nothing is free. There's always a bill that's always paid by somebody or some entity.
I mean, that's a whole podcast with some buddy of a Canadian to talk about that. Something you could do a better job of me pontificating. Back to you.
Oh my gosh, this is a little early for this one.
Is it?
You saw me mixing the bowl.
Yeah. Oh, you mixed it.
Is there a circumstance where you would kill someone?
Hell yeah.
Let's hear it.
I mean, I think are you going to have to beat me? Are we allowed to talk about geographical curse words? Okay. Just kidding. Yeah. I mean, I think the simple answer is if someone was threatening my family, I wouldn't think twice. Mm-hmm. Would it be hard? For sure. I'm not like, I don't have an armory at home. I don't even own a gun. So I guess you could kill someone with.
And his address, ladies and gentlemen, is.
That's right. Come and get my stuff. I think there's a level of protectionism that is wired in most people, and I am wired that way. Not a hothead. I don't see red. It's just that if someone came through my front door with the intent to harm, I'd put 2 center mass if I could. Wouldn't think twice. Maybe 3. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have remorse around it, because I mean, the taking of a life is brutal, but I think there's a reason why in like humanity we have this protectionism around what is ours, whether it be our land or our family, people and friends, community. If someone intends to do harm, now if you're just like, could you just kill someone? I'd be like, no, of course not. I think that would be hard. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're living through a trial of that right now. related to Charlie Kirk's murder. And it's like, that dude took a life and wasn't being threatened. And I think that's rough. So yeah, I guess in short, yes. In the right condition.
Yeah. Same. Everything you said repeated. I think it's one thing that, for the most part, has no application to a political leaning. There's exceptions, of course, but like people who would ascribe to the right side of politics and people who would ascribe to the left side of politics, who are American patriotic citizens who have families, who their family is being put in danger in their privacy of their home through an intruder, as the example goes, would stand up and protect their family in a way that means the highest level of violence, which is a form of defense. Because take like trying to choose my words carefully here, take a very friendly person on either side of the political leanings who is maybe a pacifist, and someone's breaking in their home and they're just like, oh no, please don't hurt my family. That's not going to do the same thing as taking your shotgun out and shooting them in the chest in the foyer. That ultimate and supreme level of violence is going to act as a better defense than pleading with words. Again, we're on this example of someone breaking into your home in the middle of the night, right? You've already passed the point of negotiation because they have, by their actions, declared they're not in a place of reasoning, right? There's no reasoning with someone who's like breaking in at 1 a.m. you don't know what they're there for, right?
Hey, could you please just, maybe go sit on my front lawn?
Yeah, I don't believe in like civilians having guns, so I don't want to shoot you. So could you maybe leave and I'll call the police, or I won't even call the police. Just leave and we'll call it square. I caught you. Maybe you'll get it on the next house. That's not gonna protect your family the same way.
But also, what about your community, right? So, guy or gal, equal opportunity, breaks into a house at 1 o'clock in the morning with the intent to steal or harm. You don't want to be like, maybe I caught you, so just maybe go about your way. Then you got to start thinking about your neighbors and their kids and your friends down the road, or like anybody in your community, right? Like someone came in with the intent to harm, and I think that's the important thing that I don't think a political leaning really should prescribe to, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has a right to what's theirs.
And defend it.
In most states. There's a couple states.
Yeah. Well, the right is still inherent. The laws may not align with that, right?
Right. Yeah, like exactly.
We would say that every civilian in all 50 states has the right to defend what's theirs, but the laws in certain states afford that same liberty.
Yeah, have been modified, watered down maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think you see even bigger extremes of that in places that are more, remote. I bet like Wyoming's version of castle doctrine around the land is different than it is here in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's probably more intense. Mm-hmm. I don't know that. So, but
you can
my guess in how people live there.
Yeah.
You'd have to. So,
for sure. Yeah, I'd kill someone too if they were trying to harm my family. But like to your point, I wouldn't just. And I think that's the difference too. We're not putting ourselves in situations where on a probability matrix, statistically, more likely to commit the act of killing someone. For example, which is an extreme example, if I go to a riot in an inner city or a suburb, doesn't matter really where. If I go to a riot or a protest that turns into a riot and I'm armed, I'm now statistically I put myself in a position where I'm more likely to kill someone. Statistically,
sure,
because I'm in a place where there's just intensity all around me. Cars are burning, buildings are getting destroyed or looted.
If it's a good riot,
if it's a good riot,
right?
Yeah, if it's like a Minnesota post George Floyd, type riot, all right, or any other event like that, you are more likely to commit that act. But if you're at home with your family, the probability of you committing murder or self-defense, whatever, if you're taking a life, is so much less because you have not put yourself in that environment.
No doubt.
And of course, it's an extreme example, but if you look at where you're putting yourself in the world, like where are you geographically placing your body, it's kind of robotic to think about it in those terms. But if you just dumb it down to that, there's a probability of something happening in one location versus another. The probability of you needing to fire your arm in a riot is a lot higher than you needing to fire in your home. The risk still exists, but
Right.
it's a lot less at your house.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you don't want to go to a public place where things are popping off, no pun intended. And, like I've always wondered why people put themselves in that situation, even in disagreement with maybe what the riot's about. Why are you going? Just stay away. Mm-hmm. You're just asking for pain. Mm-hmm. Let law enforcement do their job. There's enough trouble out there to capture our attention. I don't think we need to go running into the fire.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Next. Yeah. Give it a little stir. No peeking.
Okay.
You gotta be a blind pick.
I was looking for one that wasn't mine.
We just got one of mine. I want to see one of yours again.
Oh God. It's one of mine.
Oh boy.
World Cup thoughts? ?
Holland. Dun, 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 dun. I was talking about this the other day with somebody. Erling Haaland has become rephrase that. I've become his number one fan. Probably not number one, but I don't even like soccer. I don't watch it. It's not something that we keep on rotation in the house. But
are you watching now?
I'm watching now. That dude is insanely talented. I've been watching highlights of him. Mm-hmm. And I was a little bummed when, at the time of this recording, USA just got knocked out by Belgium earlier this week. And by the time this airs, it'll probably all be over. But middle way through the World Cup now, the knockout round, the tourney bracket, Holland is just taking the internet by storm with, I don't know, he's all over my feed. He's all over, I had a guest on a couple days ago. He's all over his feed. He's just, I guess maybe it's because he's so humble. He's a nice guy. Not nice looking. He's a nice guy.
Well, he's kind of nice looking. If you're into 6'5", blonde-haired Vikings.
Yes. I just imagine, I see him run down the field. I just imagine him in that Viking armor coming to pillage my village.
Yeah.
1,000 years ago. It's that's a scary sight.
He's also arguably one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah.
He's not that he's just cool. He's really good at football, as they call it all around the world. Mm-hmm. We call it soccer here, but he's awesome. And he's leaning into it. It's like all the guys that have come over from Europe. Who's the bro from Germany?
I don't know because I don't watch soccer. I know 3 players.
I can't remember his name, but one of the guys from Germany comes over and he's discovering all of America, and he's like, "Oh my God, this place is incredible."
It's different than what the media portrays out there.
No doubt.
Maybe Afghanistan is the same way.
That maybe it's an awesome place to go.
Maybe.
But you've probably seen all the stuff where Germany's discovered ranch dressing.
Yep, I've seen those videos.
Ranch dressing's awesome.
Yeah, but they don't have it over there.
They don't have ranch dressing.
Things that we don't even think about.
Which is crazy because it's just mayonnaise and...
It's regular every day.
It's stuff they have.
Not special here. Yeah, but it's special to them because they've never even tasted
it. Going to a Waffle House... I have some friends that are, they're from Germany. They live in Germany. Business acquaintances that have become friends. And they love America. They don't love everything about America. But they're this place is cool. They love coming here. They love seeing whatever they can see and, hanging out with people. And I think there's, I think if you're from Europe, you do a lot of travel within Europe, but you may not get to the States. And I think the World Cup has done a great job highlighting that, America's pretty awesome. Yeah. That's why people, move here.
Yeah.
We have unbelievable nature and, heaps of culture and variety and food. Can you imagine being English? No offense to English. I've already done this to someone already, but every 4th of July I post a meme about
fish and chips.
Suck it England, that kind of thing.
My wife and I were in a pub in England and the food was so bland. I'm sure there are nice restaurants in England, But
Surely there
that
are.
one anecdotal point that I got to experience was like when I left London and I went to like a countryside, like small pub restaurant, which means I feel like I'm eating something a local would eat.
Right.
Like it seats 40 people, right? We're in the countryside.
It's there for the town.
We're in the Cotswolds. It's like, this is what you guys eat. It's like, I couldn't find enough salt to put on it. It was just bland.
I mean, they eat beans for breakfast.
Yeah, I saw that.
What are we doing? You know, maybe that's hundreds of years of tradition, but also change, because that's weird. We eat beans with tacos.
There you go.
And it's great. No, I mean, can you imagine like if you'd never like been anywhere and you're like, you know, you live in England and then you come here and you have like Tex-Mex, like how your mind would be blown.
And we take it for granted.
100%.
I don't even go Tex-Mex because in my head that's like maybe 3 notches down of what I would eat nowadays. Like, I don't know. That came out weird. Not 3 notches down.
There is bad Tex-Mex.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'm having the on the border memories and on frontier memories from childhood. There's probably really good Tex-Mex, but
Super Rica, wonderful.
Yeah,
that's Tex-Mex. Most people just go, it's tacos, but like, you know, you just gotta know the origin of the cuisine,
intricacies.
Yeah,
how it metamorphed when it came across the border.
Right. I mean, have you been tracking our Christian Pulisic problem?
No,
you're not a big soccer guy.
I've heard him. Don't tell me he plays for U.S.
Us,
no. Yeah, USA. Yeah.
He's like our attacking. It's not our striker because that's Balogun, but he's a big part of the offense. He kind of plays.
He wasn't earlier this week.
Well, yeah, I think that's the thing. Like he had a bit of a poor showing, you know, in this World Cup, and he's a little it's like he doesn't always say the right thing. I guess it's probably. I mean, he's a young guy. You know, he's not. He's like 29, so he knows some stuff. I mean, he's one of the better players in the world, but he's had this weird relationship with U.S. soccer over the last couple of years because he took some time off and didn't play in some international cups, and he plays for one of the best teams in the world, and he's a huge contributor over there. But like, it doesn't feel like he's contributing for us, AC Milan. Yeah. So like he's a great player, but he's always hurt. Always finds a way to be hurt, and all the talking heads in soccer are like, he doesn't care and blah blah. And I don't know if that's fair, but it's kind of sad when you get absolutely shelled by Belgium again. And Belgium's good, like they're a solid. They're a solid
squad,
but it's disappointing. But we've got some exciting stuff. We got Holland.
Holland has been I really want to watch the England. Is that tonight?
That's like in a few hours. Yeah.
The England and Norway match.
Yep. I think it's at 5.
Yeah. It's I gotta see that because I watched the England highlights and the Norway highlights, and those are just both so great games.
Yeah.
2 upsets, right? Didn't England? They've knocked out Brazil.
Norway. Was it Norway?
One of them knocked out Brazil. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, Norway knocked out Brazil, which is definitely an upset.
Yeah.
I mean, Brazil's not as great as their reputation is historically. Mm-hmm. They're still really good.
Plus, you have Holland. Like 4 years ago, he was left at home.
Yeah, I mean, he is the team
center stage. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, he's been playing out of his mind, and England had a tough one with somebody. They squeaked it out, and like England's good too. So like these are really, really good teams that are in the final stages of the World Cup, and they're having to really scratch. I mean, just like Argentina earlier this week, they were down 2-0, and they scored 3 goals, and
I saw that Messi brought them back
like 78 on the 78th minute. I mean, that's crazy. We love Messi in my house.
Yeah, so, I bet.
That's a fascinating watch. Go see him while you can. I took my oldest a couple years ago when he went to Miami, mm-hmm. and he scored 2 goals, had an assist. He hadn't been playing; he'd been injured, and it was like his first game back. And I mean, he just absolutely just imploded on everyone. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible.
Yeah.
My turn. Your turn.
Your turn.
My turn. This is your handwriting.
Oh, goody.
A moment you were afraid. So I guess I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Tell me a moment you were afraid.
Let me set the scene. I was early 20s here in Atlanta. I used to deal cards for like casino nights. Like, remember like corporate companies would be like, we're going to have a casino night for a party. It's going to be so fun. And like all these companies would bring in tables and make it look like Las Vegas. Well, I was like on the roster of dealers. So you do like these weekend gigs where I would go to these parties where everybody's having a great time. And then I would just be the dealer for Texas Hold'em, something like that. So this is pre-Google Maps, but we did have GPS like on your car,
TomTom.
like a TomTom or a Garmin or something like that. I had neither because I was 20 and broke. Obviously going to deal cards for a corporate company not because the money was awesome, but I just needed a few bucks. So I'm driving through like the west side of Atlanta, which is an incredible place. Also a very scary place if you go down the wrong street. So I have my MapQuest directions. I'm trying to get to whatever the place was. And I turned down the wrong road. And it was a scene out of a movie. There were just people in the streets, like chugging beers. I mean, like I turned on a gang street basically. And I thought I'd seen just about everything. Not that night. So I make a wrong turn, and I'm like going through like a project, probably is the way I would call it. And I'm like, this isn't the right way. I've made the wrong turn. And people start yelling at me. Like I'm just driving in my car. Like they don't know who I am. So I kind of speed off around the corner, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my next right out of here, and I'm going to get back on the main road, and I'm going to be cool.
Dead end.
Now it's a little quieter around the corner. But I have to go back that same way.
And they know that because they live there.
I'm not sure if they were tracking me, but they did notice the silver Mustang again. So I turn around, I start making a run, and I'm like, I'm going a bit faster this time. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Throwing beer bottles at my car. Some dude tried to jump on the hood of my car. I swerved pretty early, so it's not like it wasn't like a movie. But he was like coming to get do something to me. I'm like, what have I done to you? I don't think I've ever felt so threatened in my life. And I got out to that road and turned right, and thank the good Lord that I was alive and didn't have anything broken in my car. And it was terrifying. And I think maybe like if you ask that question to someone else, they might think of like, a family member maybe ill or, that kind of stuff. But like, when I wrote that question, it was more about like where I had this intensity that I wasn't prepared for in the moment. And it was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
I have nothing that comes close to that. That does sound incredibly like your hair stands on edge, right?
Yes.
All the way down your spine. You quickly realize the severity of the situation. Like they always say, do not ever, ever, ever stop your car or get out of your car in those type of situations, because that is where, going back to my robotic statistical probabilities, that's where the probability of you getting severely injured or dying increases. People are drinking. Looking at that from a satellite, a have, just because you have a car, you're still broke in your head, but you're a have, and you have have-nots, people who are, maybe they have something, but they don't have what you have, which is even as like, it doesn't even be dwindled down into physical things they have. Maybe you have this in their head, this like attitude that you can just drive through my street. You can drive through our neighborhood. You can drive. That is like potentially something that they could interpret as threatening or as, hey, you don't belong here. And so for whatever reasons, they're threatening you with their body language and violence. And so it's like, it becomes very quickly a have and have not situation.
Yeah.
no one's name. They don't know your name. They don't know about who you are. They don't care. It's like, so it's just, and you have to just view it through those terms. And so you just have to get out. My closest thing is I used to jump off bridges when I was a kid.
Oh. Define how big of a bridge.
Settles Bridge in Swanee.
Okay.
I think it's called Settles Bridge. It's about a mile from that Chick-fil-A in North Carolina High School.
Yep.
There's like an old bridge that's just a rusted metal frame and has no infrastructure other than that. And people would jump off of it into the Chattahoochee. And we would do it all the time. What I didn't know at 17 and 18 years old when I started doing that is that the dam that feeds Chattahoochee, Lake Lanier,
Yep.
Sometimes they open it, the Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers will open it and close it at different intervals throughout the month to feed more water down the Chattahoochee. And when it's been recently opened, it's like a rushing, sweep you off your feet.
Like super dangerous.
Super dangerous. When it's been like a week since it's been opened, it's a gentle stream. It's really wide, it's kind of deep, but it's just a gentle stream. It's very calm. And so I did it several times, no problem. I go one day, I jump off of I climb up the bridge, I walk all the way across, and there's a little towel that hangs that indicates where, hey, this is the spot where it's like, it's deep enough to go. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to the towel, I jump. Again, 17 years old, don't think about, is the water rushing more than it was last time? Let me measure the flow rate. None of that. Just like, hey, I've been here before.
So it was already open at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. In hindsight.
And you were just like, I'm here to jump off the bridge.
Something I've already done.
Off. Yeah. Okay.
So I jump off. It's like borderline a lake when it's been a week or two since it's been open.
Right.
It's like very gentle.
It's pretty still.
You can just like backstroke back to the edge of the water without any strain. I jump in. I go down as you would, jumping from 40 feet high, 50 feet high. Come up. I got that thrill. I wipe my eyes. The bridge is now like 50, 60 yards that way. And that maybe 40 yards. I might be exaggerating. I really don't remember the exact distance.
Your story. It can be whatever you want it to be.
It was a mile. I was a mile from the bridge. No, it was a distance of holy crap. I'm being swept away right now.
Right.
And I started swimming. It's harder to swim. Something in my mind from Discovery Channel or something, I don't know what, was like, swim diagonally, it's easier. Probably the rift current thing of like if you're stuck in the ocean, swim in a diagonal. So instead of like going right across, I actually point downstream at a diagonal. So I'm kind of going with the current a little bit. Right. Which is like taking me further from home base, which is like this little bridge foundation, which is like a 5-minute walk to the cars. End up getting out of the river like maybe like 100 yards down from where we started, maybe 80. A distance where I couldn't see the people I was with. Like I could maybe see the bridge because the river curves a lot in that area. It's not like a straight, you could see a straight line for miles. It's a very curvy. So I could see like maybe the bridge to the trees, but I couldn't see any of the people I was with. And that was, I was afraid. Like the reality situation occurred to me, I could have died. If I wasn't a strong swimmer, if I didn't, if I maybe landed on my back and had the air knocked out of me, totally fine in a pool. You can just kind of like come up for air, everything's still, but when you're being rushed away, like those small nuanced things plus the rushing river, it could cause a fatal outcome. So I was pretty afraid in that moment.
Yeah. No, that's I bet a lot of people have water stories where they were afraid. You know, like I went to Costa Rica when I was, 15, and my wife, who was not my wife at the time, obviously, because we're young, we were out in the ocean with another friend. You actually know all these people, which is funny.
Who's the friend? Unless it's a negative story about them, then you don't have to say.
That's fine. It's John Day. We were out in the ocean, and it was the first time like John had like seen the ocean. You knew how to swim, but like you'd never been in like the raging Pacific Ocean of Costa Rica. My wife was a good swimmer, but like hadn't been to that type of Florida oceans. Like
the Gulf is always calmer.
Gulf, that kind of stuff. Maybe the Atlantic, but like the Pacific Ocean is like its own monster. And I lived in California as a kid, so I was like kind of familiar with that. So we're out there, and we got pulled in a rip current. we were probably a half mile from the shore. And I'm like, okay, I know my training. I know how to do this. So I'm like, I'm like treading water. I'm assessing the current. I start swimming against it, diagonally, exactly what you said. And my wife and our buddy John, like, just couldn't get it done. So we had some people with surfboards that came out there and brought them back to shore. And I swam it out, which was like a badge of honor. I was like, yeah. Take that, nature. I was very tired. I mean, I just collapsed on the beach for like 20 minutes. But I mean, it's pretty terrifying. Like, if you're, I was 15 years old, like what if I was 8? It was like my youngest son. I mean, he could be a goner, so like there's real threats out there for things that we don't understand. And I never go like, let's not do that because that could be dangerous. I'm not that guy, but I'm like looking for the adventure.
Yeah,
but
same.
It's a real thing. Like we have to take calculated risks around everything. So, you thirsty?
I am thirsty. Yeah, I just ran out a few minutes ago.
Perfect.
We're talking about the ocean. Let's what a segue. What a segue.
The Jefferson's Ocean aged by sea.
You can't make that up. We
really didn't.
You can't plan that. I mean, I read a card that you wrote. You responded to a story I shared. It was like, you can't plan that. I'm excited for this one. And before I do a full sip, cheers. I like that too. It is different.
Weird.
It's
but good.
It's a little more heat.
Yeah.
A little less smooth.
Way less smooth.
Yeah. But in its own right, how do I describe this? It's like you're taking your palate on a journey. Something that maybe Matt Shackelford would say.
Yes.
Taking your palate on a journey. He would say it probably a little more elaborate than that, but
you should say it on your pod one day.
Yeah, he could.
Matt.
He could. He's more than welcome. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more intense. I don't want to say it has more depth, but it has more width.
Okay.
The flavor profile has more, to me, things going on. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, how do you describe something tasting wide and something tasting deep? Like, and then saying that those are two different definitions. It's like, that's probably very difficult to put into words, but.
Well, also like highly personal, right?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Like I kind of.
You understand what I'm getting
I kind of
at?
understand what you're saying because I would describe something like that as well. Like to me, the fire of a bourbon or any type of spirit would be like vertically to me. Like the more fiery it is, the more vertical kind of flavor it has.
Yeah.
Breadth or width is more in the nuances.
The complexity of the flavor.
Yeah, the complexity. That's how I would see it. So if that's how you're describing it, then I agree.
Maybe. I might have been doing it in reverse.
Which is what's fun about tasting and eating things.
Yeah,
it's like
I know. We talked about last time.
We all describe things so differently, and it's none of it's wrong.
Yeah,
that's what's cool about it.
But and I know you weren't saying this, but to me, to put depth equals fire is so the words on tip of my tongue. It's not redundant. It's when you like resign something to a lower status. I forget what it's called.
Relegate?
Yeah, we'll say relegate, like the Premier and Champion Leagues. I know that. I know that about soccer.
Hey, soccer guy.
Thank you, Ted Lasso.
Look at that.
Bottom three teams go down.
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah, facing regulation. Anyways, it has a lot of width to it. Breadth is probably a better way to say it to the flavor. Let's do our next.
Oh, is it me?
It's you. Give it one of those little jumpy jumps.
I'm not gonna look. It's a would you rather.
You wrote that one.
I did. 30 days with absolutely no technology. I'm not talking smartphone. I'm
Nothing
talking
with a wire or a screen.
like your car needs to be an engine with no computer in it. Like you're living in the world, but kind of off the grid. But you can be around people. Or
The first one.
Or seclude. you're like I already know.
I already know the next one's going to be.
Seclusion from people for 30 days, but full access to tech.
Nope. And the deep introvert would choose the second one. Maybe not all introverts.
Oh, interesting.
But I would choose the first one.
Got to be around people.
I have to. I go crazy. Your wife would probably share a similar sentiment.
Yeah, no doubt.
Being in isolation. Not everyone feels that way. I have a brother who enjoys working remotely because it reduces friction from commuting to work, of course, but it's like he can control the environment in which he works. There's a lot of benefits, but one of the things that he's described as enjoying about it is to people where like being around people constantly drains them. That's a like heavenly environment. And then you can choose when you are in social settings.
Right.
To the opposite person, which is what I would be. Ironically, I work from home now because this is my main squeeze. For someone who loves being around people and they get recharged or rejuvenated from that experience, the isolation is the draining of the battery. Being in solitude is what drains the battery. Whereas for the stronger introvert, being in the group of people, like maybe a standing wedding party of 300 guests or 100 guests, constantly is like a battery drain for someone who's introverted.
Were you referring to something I said?
Maybe.
Nice.
Something you said at the wedding we both recently attended, the reception, rather.
Sorry, nephew.
I didn't. Anyways.
No, it's fine.
But for me, like that's an energizing. And your wife's the same way. Like a lot of people, like to be able to bounce from amoeba of people talking to amoeba, and like, that variety is like such a, like you even said like
charges your battery.
Yeah, it's like I had to get here early because Caroline, and I'm like, can I have ridden with you so I get more of that time?
Yeah, it's interesting because we did talk about that at that reception, and the joke for me is like I hate people, which I don't. I actually really don't. I'm actually like a quality time guy when you look at like love languages and all that
definitely
stuff that pseudoscience. But
my wife, hey, it's science is in the name, so it's something.
It's something, right? But I'm definitely like that. But I like to pick who. So like I'm. And it's funny because like I run an engineering team, and engineers are classically introverted. Not always, but usually when you're talking about the profile of a human. And I would go through this exercise with my team because I wanted them to discover like who they are and how they're made up. And it was actually about preferences. So we did this thing called predictive index. So like I know you're on the Working Geniuses thing.
Yeah.
This is just another version of how do you identify preferences and trends and how you work and things like that, which is all like kind of interesting, but it's all pretty much the same, just needs different words for different people.
The frameworks for helping you understand who you are, what you like, what type of work you like to do, etc.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we did something similar, and I was talking to one of our engineers, and they're like, I just don't know how you do this, like in front of customers, like talking to people, like it's just really hard for me. And I asked him, I said, so do you think I'm an introvert or an extrovert? He said, well, clearly extroverted. And I mean, you've known me a little while. I'm wildly introverted, but I know how to talk. So like my job is actually to communicate. I mean, this happens to me like all the time where it's, I had a friend pass away a couple months ago, and, all these people that we jointly know would be like, I spoke at his memorial, and all these people come up and be like, oh my gosh, you did such a great job. Wow. Because they just don't see me like with a microphone, like talking to, 200 people on the regular, because that's not something I actively sign up for, but it's also like, it's something that I've been doing for 20 years where it's like, because I can doesn't mean it's my preference.
That's the distinction.
That exactly, right?
People confuse what I'm comfortable with, what I'm most alive in my natural environment, and competency. They mix them together. They mix them up and distort it.
100%.
You can be absolutely competent at doing something, but you might like not want to do it every day. I could probably speak on a microphone on a stage in front of people every day, especially if the location and the people I'm talking to is changing. If there's like novelty there, I could do that every single day, 260 days of working days a year, and probably really enjoy it. Not because I think I'm the best public speaker, but it's like I just enjoy being. There are people who enjoy being in front of the camera, and there are people who enjoy being behind the camera. Essentially, just to dumb it down to very like redundant terms or very.
But it doesn't mean people behind the camera can't serve the purpose in front of the camera.
Yes.
If it's right,
or if it's needed in that moment.
Right.
Like,
so like you feed on
versa.
The adventure of it, right? Like the excitement of like being with people and working a room. And I'm like, where are my homies and my wife? And like, I want to have, and I think sometimes that comes down to like, what is your preference? Like I'm not a small talk guy. So, and this is no intent of being elitist. Like, I'm just not interested. Like I want to talk, I want to go deep on a porch for 3 hours about something that is near and dear to your heart. That is where I feel alive, right? So whether that's like philosophical or theological or it's like business concepts, like I could do that on a porch and my battery doesn't drain. It's filled actually. But if I had to go like work a cocktail party and like get 10 names and fill out a card and do like a trivia, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like it's just not.
Sucks the energy out of your bones.
It makes me want to curl up in a corner and die.
And you're not alone. Billions of people feel the same way.
For sure. But because I can do that because that is something I've learned. And I've exercised that introverted demon a little bit where I go, I won't let my desire to be introverted prevent me from being able to connect with people when I need to.
Powerful.
And that takes, honestly, it just takes a lot of practice.
It does.
Just heaps of it.
And experience putting yourself in those situations that are not comfortable for you.
Totally.
6 months ago, I didn't know how to edit videos. I literally, in my head, I never said this out loud, in my head, I said, how do they do it where like the person's talking on camera and then it cuts to like, what's that called? B-roll? Yeah, B-roll. How does it cut to B-roll and you still hear their voice? I said that in my head.
I believe you.
And now I do this every day for my job.
Right.
But to give the reverse side of your point, I absolutely hate editing videos, but I've become very competent at doing it. I can edit a video. It's not professional like, Diary of a CEO level, right? Or like a Hollywood production, but I can produce a coherent thought, cut out like riffraff. If we have to take a bathroom break, like that gets cut out. Like I can do intros and outros. Like I've become base level competent at editing, but I hate doing it. My goal as soon as possible is to hire someone to do that for me.
Right.
Young Jamie, if you will. But I developed the competency because of practice. Just like you develop the competency to speak in front of people because of practice. So yeah, back to the original question. 30 days in society. I'll drive a 1975 Chevrolet pickup truck. And that'll be hard for about 6 days. I did no social media. I've done all sorts of fasts. No video games, no TV, no social media. 30 days, 60 days. It's hard for the first couple of days, but it's just like once you're out of it, it's like, it's not that hard. You just keep it moving. Like you adapt, right?
Right.
What if you were instantly plucked from where you are right now and put into a cabin in Alaska, right? A 10 by 10 cabin with a cot and a stove and a rifle and a dog for companionship. And then you have to live there for 30 days. It's like, you figure it out. Like there's a couple of books to read. Like you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Just because you can, but it doesn't mean it's your preference, right? So like,
I would not want to be
what's funny is like
Alaska like that.
Most people would go, oh, you'd probably be cool to be secluded. I've actually got about 48 hours in me, and then I like start to lose my mind. I'll be like, and like I travel for a living. So like I was in Buffalo 2 weeks ago, which Ugh.
Go Bills.
No, yeah, go Bills. It's the best thing you got going on in that town. But like, you know, I was there like a day, and that was fine. And then I had to go to Dallas for 3 days, and I was like relatively secluded because my team was like down the road. And by like day 2, I'm like, I miss my family. I wish I was out, you know. And like, I'm introverted, but like, it doesn't mean that I just prefer that all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it's very rare to see people that are like completely binary about it. Like,
For sure.
yes, I could do this, and you know, I could not do that. I mean, could I go do a week in a cabin with like everything at my fingertips but no people? Sure, I could do it, but I would be miserable by the end of it.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Let's see what we got going on next.
I like throwing the paper in there.
Yeah, it has more like finality to it.
Ugh,
Yeah.
feels good. Like Kobe.
It's more resolve. Band or artist you are embarrassed to say you like?
Yes.
I have 2 answers. The first answer is a modification on your question,
Okay.
and that would be the band or artist that you're not embarrassed to say you like, but other people will get embarrassed for you. That would be my first answer, and that is Drake. Unashamedly a Drake fan. I think he does
Is that a thing?
not all of his music, but I
like people that like, I like Drake, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that.
I have some friends that are very intentional with liking or disliking public figures based on their personal life. So, like Drake had a thing where he was courting or allegedly courting Millie Bobby Brown, the actor from Stranger Things, when she was underage. And so, because of that act, he's written off in a couple of friends of mine that I talked to about it. Like, oh, I will never listen to Drake again because of that instance. And it's like, you can't, like, if it's alleged, there's never a lawsuit, there's never a conviction. It's just like, it's just something in the news that you saw. So it's like, you can't really like, I don't know.
That's our society now.
You can't just like predetermine your opinion on someone based on what you saw that could possibly be true. But it's like, there was never like a black and white front of newspaper.
Sure.
This is the verdict of this. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's different if it's like they're a convicted sex offender. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna listen to his music anymore. Like that's another tier. But it's like,
So you're not like you're not playing Marcarelli anymore.
no.
Like when you hear "I Believe I Can Fly" come on the radio, you don't get like, okay, a little bit.
Isn't that the Eagles?
No,
No.
it's from Space Jam, dude.
Getting to the Space Jam.
There you
I
go.
know.
See, now you got the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Can't listen to it.
That would be so. But to answer your question, the way you've written it, a band or artist you are embarrassed to say that you like.
It's kind of like a guilty pleasure.
Drake is definitely the guilty pleasure. Like, he's not a very wholesome lyrics guy, but
Sure.
I don't like all of his stuff. Some of his singing stuff is good, but then some of it is a little whiny for me. This is the way I describe it. When he's rapping about his life and it's real and it feels raw, that's the Drake I like. When he's performing, or maybe there's a ghostwriter, it's almost like there's I'm not saying he does this, but there's possibly a ghostwriter when it doesn't, and that translates to not feeling as real and raw. But then when you can hear a song that like really hits and resonates you, like he just released an album, he's talking about his dad going through cancer. He puts it in very like lyrically profound, like he says, my dad just got cancer. We're battling it in stages, and stages relates to something he had just said. And it's just like, it's a really genius way to put it. And it's just like, he's a multi-millionaire famous person, but he's not talking about what he's going through in his life. He has a family member going through something that we can relate to. So I think that's the thing. It's relatability. He has a high level of relatability when in those 40% of his songs, 50% of his songs that he's done, he brings that out. I don't think I have one that's like, I'm embarrassed. I have a confession to make. I don't listen to a lot of music. I listen to like playlists.
Oh. I would have never thought that about you. It's interesting.
Because I play instruments?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have people like Carson, right, at our church,
right,
who is like not only passionate about playing music, but he is passionate about the discovery process of learning music.
Yes.
Like different types of music, different bands in the genres he already likes.
Right.
Like that is something that it's like an all-encompassing passion. And I admire that. It's just not the way it is for me. I think it comes down to this. I've discovered about myself. I think I've found this out myself really since you've been on last in the past 3 or 4 months is that I would rather be doing whatever it is than spectating. And that translates to, I don't know that many bands. I mean, I know them, but I'm not fanboys. I don't go to concerts. Not because I can play any instrument better than who's up there, but it's like, I would rather be up there doing it simply because I'd rather be doing the act. I have no idea how to play soccer. I'd rather be playing soccer in like the local park than like going and watching a game because I get to do the thing.
Interesting.
And I think some people, and that is maybe not a majority perspective of society, but I think there are a lot of people that prefer to be a interactive participant than a spectator on the sidelines. But then there are people who love spectating. Like my younger brother, I asked him to do something. I'd rather watch. And it's not that he's disinterested. The spectating itself is the enjoyment on whatever it is. And so I think that's the delineation.
Well, like I don't like going to like NFL games.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch them on TV because it's a better product.
It is. In 2026, it is. In 2004, it's not. In 2026, it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's part of that I definitely understand. But, yeah, that's interesting. Well, dang, this is not as fun. Because I feel like Drake is, like, widely liked for the most part, right? So,
who's yours?
There's so many. I love Dashboard Confessional.
I don't know who that is.
Really? Wow. We're going to listen to some music.
Okay.
Yes, it's like emo, like that whole like movement. I mean, it was like you were probably a little young because I was pretty young. But yeah, they were like the kind of the big like Total Request Live on MTV breakout artist for like that scene.
They were the Green Day of the emo world.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they were the next tier down. Like you have Green Day is like a good bridge between pop rock and then like heavy metal. They're like a smash of those two kind of together. A little bit.
Well, it's kind of weird. So maybe a better example, like
and punk. I forgot to mention punk.
I loved Nickelback. Now there's a resurgence around like Creed right now.
Can you take me higher?
All the guys my age are like, why is everybody bagging on Creed? Creed was awesome.
It was awesome.
And it was awesome. And it was great. But like Nickelback's an easier pot shot because they sold like way more records and they honestly just had more longevity initially, right? So
Creed was like one of those hidden gems. It's like when you find that restaurant on you'll relate to this. I got to recall the name of it. Is when you find that niche restaurant or stand on the road to Hana.
Yep.
And you're like, the world doesn't know about this.
Right.
But this is.
Like where you get the banana bread?
Yes. Yeah. Where you get the banana bread. The world doesn't know about this, but it's special. And it's like, it's a high quality. It's a higher quality than it gets the media of. That's what Creed was.
Yeah. So like Creed was like kind of interesting because like for me, I was in high school and it was like underground. It was grunge, right? But it was becoming mainstream. So like we were going through like, what is that? I think as a society. But I was like 16 years old. So I was like, rock and roll, bro. And like I went and saw him live. I went and saw him at Music Midtown, rest in peace. And it was great. And then at some point they became corny. And probably because like there was all this stuff in the public about all of them and whatever. But Nickelback was like I saw Nickelback. Actually, my buddy, I'm dating myself here. My buddy went to this is also Music Midtown. They were playing like the C stage. Have you ever been?
I haven't been. I know what it was. It was. When did it close down? 2016, 20?
No, I think it was like in the early 2020s.
Okay.
Because they brought it back for a bit, and then they were like, this is hard.
It was around when I was in high school, in the 2010s era.
Yeah. So my buddies went to day one, and they're like, we went and saw this band called Nickelback, and it was insane. And they had a cassette tape of their demo. They were like handing them out. I'm not that old, but like it was a cassette tape.
Yeah.
So like we started listening to like that cassette tape, and I was in a band at the time, a rock band, and we actually started covering one of these songs on the cassette tape. which actually ended up becoming like a single and like a pretty big hit, but we were like covering it before it was a hit.
So you
'Cause
felt
we were like,
a special attachment.
we were like, we are cool.
You discovered Nickelback before the world did.
I discovered Nickelback before everyone. And
It's like the people who have an attachment to 30A. When you discover it before the world does.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like, yeah.
oh, God, you could do 2 hours on that. I know you can do 2 hours on that. We ended up like playing that song. It was like a normal part of our set. And, but like at some point, like Nickelback jumped the shark and they became uncool. And like I went and saw them when they came to Atlanta. And it was like everything people described, like what it was like seeing Guns N' Roses back in the day. It was wild. It was loud. People were like out of control. Like the 80s rock and roll lifestyle was there. That was Nickelback. And
Coke was falling from the ceilings.
the what?
Coke was falling from the ceiling.
I mean,
more or less.
close.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely clothing was falling from the ceilings. I'll say that. But like for me is like, you know, I was born in the 80s. I didn't like really grow up in the 80s. I didn't understand like heavy metal, you know, glam rock, you know, that whole thing that you see on like VH1 or whatever. That was realized to me that night. I was like, oh, this is what this whole like giant rock and roll lifestyle of like the big, they're 80s hair metal, but for the generation of like the 2000s, which is why I think they took so much crap later on, even though they just kept releasing singles and making gobs of money. Like people liked it, but it wasn't cool to like it. So I feel like Creed fell into that bucket. And now there's like this whole resurgence of that where it's like new metal, which was like definitely like my teenage years. All that stuff is back. And there's all these like kids discovering all this music from back then.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, pop punk is having a revival too, which is, I guess, I say I listen to playlists. I'll just turn playlists on. Pop punk is my thing. Some of the old stuff I like, but the new stuff I'm really into. And I figured out why. It is a specific sound. It's being, there's so many different artists who are using Travis Barker to produce their music.
Yep.
Who is, I believe he's the famous drummer from
Blink.
Yes. And MGK has used him on a lot of his stuff.
Yep.
There's a band called Out in Front I discovered recently. Female vocal lead, grungy guitar, bass, an incredibly skilled drummer.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like Paramore vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
But polished. Not polished in like a it's too mainstream kind of way, but like the sound of what you're listening to is polished because Travis Barker's producing it. And he's done that for like maybe 20 artists or 30 artists. Yeah. And it's a revival of that sound.
So was that like kind of your genre, like growing up?
A little bit.
Like that?
Yeah. I guess, in high school it was like Breaking Benjamin, Linkin Park. Heavy rock, but like, is that heavy rock or just regular rock?
Yeah, I would say Linkin Park is heavy. Yeah, it's heavy for sure.
I like to describe it this way.
Mainstream though.
If an artist released an album with 10 songs, a rock like Linkin Park or someone like that, if one or two songs had like a couple like just like trickles of screaming, that was like perfect. Like, oh, you added something special. But if there's like half the song is screaming or like every bridge or a chorus is like we're screaming, that was too much for me. Like, I like the sprinkling it in, but I didn't like it when it was like half of the music. Right. And I think that some people like that. It's just not for me.
So like emo and screamo really went over the top there, where like they'd have like a clean vocalist and then they'd have like a screamer. Yes. And like I grew up with like guys that were in like a real like heavy metal band where it was just all like like all the time. Yeah. And they were incredible musicians, super technical. Like the music's actually like relatively beautiful, but it's just got this like cadence of, and what's funny is like the guy was actually like a really great singer, like actually could really sing. You just didn't much.
I stand by this statement that I've said before. Metal musicians, especially drummers, are among the most talented. I would put metal drummers and jazz drummers in a neck and neck race for being some of the most talented, or Latin,
For sure.
Latin style drummers in the most talented drummer category. The technical prowess it takes to hit 30 seconds on a double kick while destroying your toms and snares with a 30 seconds that's in a separate syncopated rhythm, and just like it's one of the most talented group of musicians in that genre, because the music is such high tempo. It just requires
and if they can play it in time,
and you can play in time, that's very,
which most can.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible.
it is. Yeah. I'm sorry I couldn't go deeper on music. I have some thoughts, but it's like,
it's fine.
It's
Listen,
just, I'd rather
I just learned something.
I'd rather
today.
be doing it.
I'm
yeah.
gonna be sending you playlists.
Yes,
So many playlists.
as long as it's pop punk.
Yes,
My
pop
turn?
punk.
Your turn. Yeah, because I drew yours.
Yeah. Or did I draw that?
I drew it and I read it to you. No,
No. It's
you
your
did.
turn.
You did draw it. Yeah,
Your
that's
turn.
right. I didn't do the bucket drop last time. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, here we go. Lightning round.
Let's go.
You are allowed 30 seconds per topic to answer.
Okay.
I have a clock, but it's like there's no second hand, so I'll just like
We'll just play it by ear.
play by ear. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you start talking too long, I'll be like, eh,
Perfect.
and you do the same to me.
All right.
Yeah. It's like a 5-second warning. Wrap it up. First topic. Pineapple on pizza. Go.
Absolutely love it. We have a purist problem in our country where we can't have delicious things on things because we go, that's not tradition. Not good with it. Like pineapple on pizza, like pineapple bacon. Listen, Domino's order here. Domino's is great for what it is. Barbecue sauce, cheese, bacon, pineapple, thin crust. Absolutely slaps. You're going to love it.
All right. Pineapple on pizza. I love it. It's my favorite version of pizza ever. I agree with your sentiment. To say something has to be pure and traditional means that it is the best version of itself is not a good subscription model to follow. Some of the best flavors and cuisines, and even outside of food, come from the medley that happens in a melting pot, whether that's America or just in a fusion kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter.
How'd you do?
27 seconds.
Very concise. Love it.
All right. 30 seconds. Flat Earth or round Earth?
I have no reason to think that the earth is not round, though I'm interested in the comedy of people describing how it's flat. It's not the conspiracy for me, but I'm willing to entertain it. I'm willing to be a part of it. It's all just fun for me. As I said on the last pod I was on, I have questions. It doesn't mean I have full-blown conspiracies.
I was entertaining it for a while, and then after the SpaceX IPO, and I've been doing a lot of watching those videos and just like deep diving on Elon Musk and what they've been doing over the past 15 years. I'm like 99% globe Earth. Like I was like 80% globe Earth. I think I've jumped up to 99% globe Earth. There's still a possibility. I never say it's out of the question. But yeah, we're going to Mars, hopefully.
Someone's going to Mars.
Someone's going to Mars. Okay, lightning round, 30 seconds. Would you relocate to Asia for a mystical job paying you $200,000 where you moderately enjoy what you do?
For 200?
$200K a year.
Daddy wants more. I do like Asia though. So I would be interested in the cultural experience of that. It would take a lot to bring my family over there to do that because there's a lot to consider, like schooling and
Sports,
this, that, and whatever.
education.
So,
Yep.
but it would be a cool adventure. I know some people have done that, and they haven't regretted it. Oh, I'm in. Gosh, I got excited. I was thinking about soy sauce. Weren't expecting that one, were you?
It wasn't. Not in the middle of my low depth, wide breath sip. All right. Would I live in Asia? 30 seconds. Yeah. I'm all about novelty, adventure, excitement. If the wife says yes, I'm in. I can do it for 1 year. I can do it for 5 years, maybe 10 years.
Ooh.
There's no timeline on this, right? So it's kind of open-ended. But yeah, I could do it. it doesn't matter where. I mean, with 200K as your salary, and the cost of living being on the average
Lower.
less,
Yeah.
you can live in a nice area, experience a very nice culture at a discount. Last question. As a parent, parenting children, what's easier? Parenting children that are boys or children that are girls?
Boys. My God, it's boys. Love my daughter. It's just different questions, the meaning of life. You tell a boy like, hey, don't stick your finger in that light socket. Then they do it and they're like, oh, that's why I don't do that. Like, girls are not like that. You just got to go 12 rounds.
I can't answer really. I guess I can't answer that question too well because I only have one daughter. So I would say girls are easier. No, boys, because it's zero effort. It has been zero effort from Christian to raise a child that is a boy. So a boy is now easier in my mind.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
That will likely be
a kid flip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Lightning round over.
There it is.
That was fun.
That was good.
Well, we got to that one. For the record, we might not get to all these. Well, maybe we will. I don't know.
We'll see. Oh, this is one of yours. If tech allows extension of life with quality to 200 years of... I can't read that.
No, it's bad.
Why don't you read it?
Yeah. All right. If tech allows extension of life with quality to 200 years of age, will you subscribe?
Well, it's your question. It's me asking you the question, so you go first.
Right, I have to answer.
Yeah. I have a thought, obviously.
If there's an option to opt out in the middle, yes. If it is a mandatory, you mandatorily must live to 200 years, and we also guarantee without failure that you'll have a quality. You're not in a nursing home for 100 years of the last. Like, it's like you have a meaning, you have a mobility, you have your brain. There's a way to keep you maybe just like double what you did in the early part of your life in a way. Maybe it's different, but it's like double the duration, and you can opt out, then yes. If it's mandatory to 200, no. I always keep my options open.
Like, I don't want to be committed.
Yeah. So like the most important thing, which is like, do I wake up in the morning or do I no longer do that? Like when it comes to self-preservation.
Sure.
That if that choice is now decided for me by a corporation, entity, magical question, whatever, to be, you have to do this for now another 120 years if the average lifespan's 80, and I have to follow through with that, that feels to me like the ultimate lock myself into an outcome. I'm much more open to the idea of, it doesn't even have to be, you can quit at any time. That's like the opposite end, right? At 120, you can hit a checkpoint and say, I'm ready to terminate life, or 150. Like if they give you checkpoints,
sure,
there's some middle ground, right? Where it's like you can, not that this has any practical reasoning why that would exist, but like the point is I wouldn't want to be locked into, if you sign up for this program and this medicine or this augmentation, you are now required to for research or whatever. Like I wouldn't want the mandatory restriction.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a few facets to this. So can you have that quality life? And like what is the standard of quality? Right? So like for me, I'm like, listen, if I make it to my mid to late 80s, that's pretty good. You know, like I don't want to be, I don't know the future, but like I don't want to be a burden on my kids. I'm happy to be a burden on someone I'm paying to help me. That's fine. But I want to be like when I get into like grandfather and great grandfather zone, hopefully, you know, if that's where my life takes me, like I want to be a bright spot for my family. I don't want to be a burden at all. I may not have that option, and that it is what it is, but that would be my ideal. But I'm like, what am I going to do at 90 or 100? That's going to be important.
Well, imagine you have a 40-year-old body. Like that's the point. The quality is not just like,
the quality is like,
the quality is your body is like,
I don't know if I want the body I have now at 42. Like, can I get a 25-year-old body?
I guess the point is you're stretching out the natural aging process of your body. Instead of it ending around 80 to 90 years old, it now ends at 100. So 40 might feel like 15, and 100 might feel closer to 50 years old. or maybe 40 years old or something like that.
No, that's a good clarification.
Yeah, that's what quality of life means. It's like, it's not just like you have nice things. Not saying you're stuck in a medicine, like a big scientific factory tube, having research done on you. Not only can you move around, but you also have this like mystical make believe, like
vitality.
Vitality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be cool to like be 80 and like be able to surf and stuff. I mean, but I think the method of it would be like, how do we get there? Like, what is that? I would probably have some questions around that. I think there's like a natural aging to like our body and even like our soul. Like mental faculties are important. So like maybe my body can be 45, but it's like, are my mental faculties in place? Like that would be.
Yeah. Well, just assume everything ages at double
just
slower.
Super slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to divide everything we know by 2. So when you're 80, you'll feel 40. When you're 120, you'll feel 60.
You're like, I'm never asking a question like this, Nick.
No, it's good. Because there are variables you're considering that would change.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
answer.
I think it depends on like what is the technology that allows it, and does that align with like my moral fabric? If it's just like, hey, we found some better plants, or we can like move some stuff around and some gene sequencing that can like it, like I look at like GLP-1s, for example. I have no issue with them, right? But do I think everyone should do them? I don't think so. And I don't know how to reconcile that for like society today, nor should I. It's not my job. But I have some questions, like most things. So
yeah,
so if I just use that as an example of like, what does the applied technology look like? And I mean, I guess if anybody could live like a great life until they were 200 years old, they'd probably pick that because they want to like see their family and they want to be a part of history and they want to like meet their great grandkids. Like, we've never had that type of possibility in the human race. That would be kind of wild. So I guess, yeah, I wouldn't say no, but I would be interested in the application of what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I would do it.
You're like, I'm in. Think of all the adventures I could have.
Barring the 200-year mandatory restriction.
Right.
I'm in. Yeah. And I think as you were clarifying those things, like what do they mean? I already had the assumptions that those were baked in.
Right.
Like mentally. Like
sure.
when I'm writing the question down, I'm just thinking about how I think about it. It's like I've already assumed those things. But
right.
you are like investigating the inquiry.
I'm kind of working it out, right?
You're working it out.
It's like, okay, my body's 45, but do I have pudding for brains?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
That to me, that's actually more important.
Absolutely.
I could be physically disabled in my 80s, but like if my mind is sharp and I understand like what joy and like family and like my faith and like all that is like tied together nicely. Cool. I'll like, ride a razor scooter around if I need to. So
I guess it's my turn now, since you technically drew that. And
I did.
I had to finish it off. I told you before the show you might not be able to read some of it. If Elon Musk builds his moon base, will you go?
Hell no.
Why not?
The moon is boring. Mars is boring.
Now.
Everywhere he wants to go is boring.
It's boring now.
How could it be better?
I'm trying to summarize his plan for context and then answer. Elon's plan: build moon base, use Tesla robots or a future iteration of that thing, humanoid AI powered robot, to build the factories, build the globes that humans will live in, and then eventually humans go mine resources from the planet or from the moon to help build this stuff, because you can't send all of the mass from Earth. A lot of it will go, but not everything that ends up being the final product will be. And then from moon launching to Mars. So it's a 3-day trip with current technology. So going doesn't mean I'm living there permanently. You could go for 6 months. You can go for a vacation. You could go. Some of his marketing materials say it'll be open for vacation. It'll be open for like living, visiting. It's kind of a mixed bag, right? But
sure.
I guess we could view this through the living because that's a more serious. I think most people who have any sense of adventure would be like, yeah, I'd go for a week. But it's like, would you go for?
I don't know. Did you see Bezos's rocket explode on the platform 3 weeks ago? I'm like, this is not automatic.
I was up to 2 a.m. researching SpaceX statistics. They've launched 690 rockets, 684 of them, I think. I could be off by a couple numbers, have landed successfully. Only 4 blew up. That is like 15 to 20 years of plus 1 month of public, but 15 to 20 years of private ownership, private investors investing in it.
Right.
Now that the public has put buy-in, which is $85 billion in capital to help take it to the next level, and there's been so much track record of success, I don't know. It just seems like this goes back to me changing from 80% globe Earth to now 99.1.
Yeah.
Is that I think I'd go in the moon, man. If it's
awesome. But what are you getting? So this is my counter argument, right? So let's say Elon, who I'm a big fan of, you and I have talked about this a bunch. What he's going to set up like globe resorts on the moon. Have you all been to Mexico? They got great resorts there, and I can get there for $300. I just don't understand what I'm going to gain from going to the moon or to Mars, unless the Earth is decrepit and going away, which is kind of like his whole thing. Like we're going to need planetary travel because the resources of the Earth
are evaporating.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, right?
And I don't even know that I would subscribe to that entirely. Maybe it's partially true, but that we're using resources, but maybe it's not exhaustive where we will be out of them.
And I think like you and I sitting at this table are going to have a different statement of belief than Elon Musk does, right? So he sees the world through the view of everything's pretty much non-renewable, which is why we have to do this.
Yeah.
And maybe because he doesn't have conviction or faith that aligns to what we ascribe to in being a higher power. He goes, it is my job. It's very humanist. It's my job to go, I'm going to create a world that can persist. And maybe this world is not meant to persist. But also, it is the most complex ecological
engineering
thing.
Problem.
And it's been just fine for thousands of years. Or if we believe all of science, tens of millions. Like, are we really on the brink? Like, the ozone is healing, much like the political climate of our country. Like, things come in seasons. So it's not that we can't do new things. We can do too much of something, right? But like, we haven't even tapped into like nuclear yet in a real way.
Yeah.
And because there's fear, and that fear is somewhat warranted because of like what we've seen.
Chernobyl,
it's like there's risk, just like with anything. But like, I'm not worried about us like powering the world. At some point we'll flip a switch and go, this is the new normal, and it'll be fine, just in the same way when like we created cars in the 1910s,
yeah.
1905, I don't know. I don't remember.
Somewhere in that. 10.
My son would be able to tell me because he goes to school, but learned that in the car yesterday. He's like a trivia monster. And I'm like, I know the answer to it's been 30 years since I've had to care about that. But, I don't know. I'm not that interested. There's things I want to see here.
Yeah. Well, I was going to make a comment about your love for seeing, I know you go to a lot of national parks. In addition to that, traveling to see other cities and cultures.
Yep.
You don't get the same immersion, right? As if with this idea of going to the moon and looking at the Earth. But imagine seeing the Earth in its entirety from 268,000 miles away, which is I think that's the number. It's somewhere in that ballpark. That's like and then take like your visions of the Grand Canyon or Yosemite or these places you've seen that are vast, and then apply that to a speck on
Right.
what you're seeing.
No, that's interesting for sure.
And
Because
so it becomes like this literally 50,000 foot experiment where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm really seeing the world here. I'm seeing the globe. It'll be the same size as our perspective is now from the moon.
right.
Like, it'll be that big in your window of your little space dome. And
My space dome that I can't leave. Like, I don't like cruises. How do you think I'm going to fill in a space pod?
put your spacesuit out and go on a moonwalk.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Sorry. My wife hates that. She's like, there's all this evidence. I'm like, is there? No, man. This is a good one. I see a pass coming here. What are we doing in Iran? What is Christian Boatwright's perspective on what we're doing in Iran?
I had a friend ask me yesterday, do you comment on politics? And I said, I don't make it a point to, but if my guest brings it up, as they have today, I will make comments. Mostly because I just don't know a lot about it. Like,
Sure.
I don't.
That's what makes it fun, though.
I don't care as much about it. I care about the people who live in Iran who are being hurt. I care about the American tax dollars that are being wasted or whatever. I care about the things, but it's just like it becomes so repetitive. Peace treaty, boat attacked. Peace treaty, base attacked. Peace treaty, missiles are launched. And it just, we get into this lull of what is going on? Like, and what does my opinion on it have anything to do with what the outcome is? Like,
Fair.
Like, and you can say that about anything we've talked about, right? Like, what does your opinion on anything at all have anything to do with the outcome? Whether I like this ocean bourbon or not has no impact on if they're going to continue making it or not. Factors outside of my opinion are gonna sway that. Even the largest voices on anything, politics. Take Joe Rogan. When Joe Rogan says an opinion about something, it has no sway on what's going to happen, the outcome. Not even like 0.1% of a
Right.
sway.
Totally.
So it's like even like the biggest commentary type voices, talking head type voices, it's like, I don't know. If you're passionate about it and you just enjoy talking about it, like we enjoy talking about all the other topics, that's 100% okay. But as far as like meaningful change or impact from opinion shared, I don't think we should be bombing Iran. I don't think Iran should be bombing us. I just think everyone should get along peacefully. But I'm also not a pacifist. Like, go
Right.
America. So it's like I borrow perspectives from every little pocket of belief.
Sure.
So if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think it's a confusing topic. So when you think about like I think as a country, we don't even really know why we're that involved, right? We're
Oil.
We're fed
You think that's wrong?
as well
Or is it
as the
control?
great artist Dave Chappelle once did in a skit.
Artist.
Got to get our hands on that oil. Yeah, I'm sure that has something to do with it, and it's not even direct, right? But like we produce more oil than anywhere in the world if we want to. For me, it's probably just about political pressure, geopolitical pressure across the world, whether it's, our friends in Russia or our foes in Russia. We never know because we have such an interesting relationship there. Venezuela was clearly about China. That's well documented. I think it's just about power. And I don't know if we should exercise that type of power because I think with that, like 1945 when World War II, ended, we signed up to be the world police. I don't think that serves our citizens well. And I'm not saying I'm a libertarian because that's a whole different thing. But I think sometimes people just got to work stuff out. And I'm not sure we should be the solution for all of it because I think it impacts our citizens more than anything because of the requirement for our economy to be the largest in the world. Like you look at all the trends, like to get a little less dark, like people are like homesteading. Not saying that's the solution to everything, but there's something beautiful about that where it's like, I have 40 acres and animals and crops and like, I just don't want to be a part of the machine. And if that's what you want, you should go do that. There's plenty of places to do it. It's not what I want necessarily, but if we operated in a context that was where we had choice and we weren't, swayed by the news cycle with everything going on in places that are tens of thousands of miles away, I think that'd be good for us. Maybe. So like, I don't know what we're doing in Iran. I know Iran is they've got a next step or 10, to be a society that I think is maybe more in line with modern history. But the strait is pretty important from a trade perspective. I would like to see resolution quicker. And if that means we flatten a place and we have a regime change, it is what it is. That's what we've signed up to do, whether we want to or not.
That's a good point.
So
it just ties in with whether you have an opinion about it being good or bad isn't relevant. Like you said, we signed up to be the world police. So if Iran getting a nuclear weapon means a nuclear war, then it's like,
and that's probably the only line I draw is they're not functionally we're the only. I think this is right.
And our allies, our close allies, our collaborative allies.
Right.
Only people policing that. But also I believe we're the only country that's actually enacted that, right? Back to World War II. And it was such a devastating consequence that we're like, nobody can do this. We're going to regulate this from a world perspective. Is that fair that we're the police on that when we're the ones who did it? I don't know. I also don't care. Yeah.
Because ultimately I think people should be able to here or abroad, should have the opportunity to live their life and not be in fear of nuclear destruction.
Yeah.
But I don't know whose job that is. Seems like a tough one.
It is. Something that you own that it would pain you to part with it. I didn't read that right.
You did.
I did. Just something you own that would pain you to part with.
The wording is a little...
Yeah, to part with. Yeah, the tonality. Something I own. Oh, I'm asking you. What would you own? What do you own that you would hate to part with?
For clarity, this is a possession, not family.
We don't live in Iran.
Pet. Yeah.
We don't live in Iran. Our wives are not our possessions.
Right, that's right. Not a thing. I don't care. I actually rewrote this. It was originally like, if your house is on fire and you could grab a couple of things, that's a more kind of traditional way to think about it.
Yeah.
I've gone through that exercise, and I don't think there's a single thing that I care about outside of my family, right? So, but they're not
material
things.
Item.
Yeah, and I really tried because I play music, so maybe there's a guitar I love. I don't, because I've traded every guitar I've ever had for the most part. I think 20, 30 years ago, you might go, well, I have a photo album, the history of my family. Well, most of that is digitized today, so there's no impact. So for me, it was I don't think I own anything that would give me great stress. Not saying that's the right answer. That's just me. I'm a little bit of a minimalist. I'm if it doesn't bring me joy, it can go away. When Christmas hits the Marcarelli house, I'm so much clutter. Ooh, gross. So yeah, I don't have a thing, but a part of me wishes I did. Something was special to me.
My answer might influence you a little bit. So for Mother's Day, I bought my wife for our first Mother's Day, we just had a baby in January. So
right.
about 5 months old now. I bought her, and we haven't done it yet. It's actually, you need to get on it because the baby's growing. It is a kit that you put your hand in with the baby's hand. Both parents have a hand and the baby's hand into a mold. Sits for 10 minutes. You pull it out, put the mixture in.
Yep.
You have a mold of the baby's hand in your hands holding it. It's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. It's sitting in our dining room, against the wall. It needs to be done. We have not done it. And this is a good reminder. But if it had been done, maybe we'll do it today. And that was done, and it was sitting on our dresser, or it was in the house somewhere on display. I would want to save that because, as you said, everything's digitized. Everything can be replaced easily that we have today. But that's something that you can't replace. You can't replace I was thinking through as you were saying, I could just remold. No, I can't remold the size of her hand because babies grow so fast. I could remold her hand a little bit later, but like, what if the house burns down or whatever? I'm going with the house burn down analogy. I'm grabbing one item as I run out, and maybe it wouldn't be that one, but that's the one that comes to mind where you have captured something in time that's not digital, that essentially won't age. The shape and size of her hand as a 5-month-old baby won't change. And so if I save that, I have that preserved. But if I don't save that and I no longer have that item, and if I was to recreate it, I'm recreating a memory, sure, but I'm doing it at a different size or age. Like, it's kind of similar, like the footprint butterfly thing your kid gets from pre-K, right? It's like, oh, your kid made a butterfly with their feet, and it's like the teacher draws a little picture or whatever and says Happy Father's Day or Happy Spring.
Right.
It's like, it's similar to that, but a little bit more like concrete, right? It's more of a serious, like it's a architectural mold that sits like this high in your house somewhere. So it's like, I don't know, maybe that, but even as I'm talking through, it's like, it's not even that special. I mean, it's special, but it's not what one thing in all of life. It's like, does that even deserve a top 5 spot? So I don't know. I was racking my brain. That's the only thing I could come up with. So maybe does that spark anything that's like
so
for you?
We're gonna see the real monster from within. So like, I've got 3 kids, right? So you're in that phase where you're like, my first child, she's here. We got to document everything. So we did the same thing with Rocco. You know, we had one of those books, like he loses a tooth, and we take this decaying piece of matter and we tape it in there. His first clip of hair.
I can tell that was Caroline's influence.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also like, it's a little traditional. Like, I think when you think about like the steps of a family, like, oh, I want to go back to that book and I want to see that. And, you know, second and third kid didn't even get a book. Not because I said no. It was just like,
it's because they're not as special.
They're not as special. We only love the first one. Just kidding. We love them all.
You love them all, but some are more special than others.
Differently. I don't have a favorite, but I have a favorite. I was somewhere in the last week where we were at someone's house, out of town, and this lovely mature couple. You know, this house, they invited us all over. They have like a pool with a lanai. It was like awesome. The kids are going crazy. There's a bunch of kids. And they live in Florida. So they have all these plants like in pots, and like they're flowering and like beautiful. And they're retired. So like they spend a lot of time nurturing these plants. And there was one rule. And again, they were awesome. But the one rule was, don't get pool water on the plants. Like, don't take the water gun and shoot the plant, because the chlorine water will
cause the plant to die. And, you know, maybe this is just more my mentality about stuff, but I was like, I understand the request and I respect the request. But I was like, when I am their age, I don't want to be that precious about anything. Because like, it's just a plant. Yeah, they may have like, 12 hours a week into maintaining this amazing jungle they have in their lanai. But I was just like, I just don't think I can be that precious about it. Not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I could care about that, because what is your life surmised to? If that's something that you're,
if that's the rule,
if that's something you're vocalizing to guests at your house,
right?
Where's your value system? Where are all the weights of value in your house, in like your brain and in your heart? If that's something you're articulating to guests, out of everything in this house that you wouldn't want messed up,
right?
Or whatever rules you're verbally telling people, don't put water in my plants, please.
Like, please just don't splash the plants. And again, I understand it, because like it's like something they love. But like I don't think I would want that. I don't want to be that precious about anything. It's just a flippin' plant. And if it's that important, put it somewhere else. That's actually how I'd feel about it. So like, when kids walk into my house, I don't want them to be like, pull out the paint set and just winging paint all over the place and getting it on my guitars that are on the wall. Because like, I do like my guitars. I don't want them to be damaged. So like I understand the instinct of it. If there was a kid at my house and some freak thing happened where one of the guitars got knocked off the wall, I wouldn't even say it was like bad behavior. It's just like
accident.
But they did it. I think I wouldn't care. I'd be like, I'll take it to the shop, get it fixed. So it's, maybe this is just an extension of the expression of this, but like, I don't think things are that important. I think experiences are.
We share that.
Yeah, it's just like all these things will corrode and crumble away at some point. So it doesn't mean that I want somebody to bring their 5 kids to my house and like jump on my couch and break it.
You care about things. You just don't assign so much value to them that it becomes a talking point.
Right. It's just a couch, or it's just a guitar, or it's just a plant. It's just a TV, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have like monetary consequence to it. It just means like, is it really that important? I would probably just go, yeah, man, those kids, they set fire to my couch. I don't think they're coming over anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't buy a couch every month. But I was hoping I'd feel differently with this question if you got it, because like I figured you'd have like you had a good response, but like I'm trying to go like, does that move me emotionally? And
it takes a tsunami to move you emotionally.
I'm just dark inside, I guess. I don't know.
It takes good food to move you emotionally.
Yes, if you screwed up these raviolis I spent 4 hours making, the house is going to be a little tense.
Let's keep trucking. I read yours, right? Is that how that played out? Or you read?
I read that.
You read that. Yeah.
Yep, your turn.
Tell me one of your biggest personal non-career failures.
Okay, yeah. Here's one. When I was in my early 20s, I was like, clock's ticking. Need to get life moving. I need to find that person. And that was dumb. And this is why I'm like filtering a little bit, but like I felt insecure in like where it was. Like I was in like beginner kind of career kind of thing. I was in between with school. Like I just didn't have like that drive. Like I wanted that drive, but I didn't know what the path was. So I was just like, you know what? I just need to start meeting people. I need to like go create my own luck. And like just start dating people. I had a very like sporadic dating experience on purpose, because like I actually just wasn't that into it. I was just like, there'll be that person. I find that person, we'll join and we'll do that. Right. So, but I felt stuck. So put myself out there, workplace relationship. And, it was only like 6 or 7 weeks. And wow, the chaos that brought was overwhelming. Because I don't know if people know this, but people are crazy. All of them. Me too, right? So I think sometimes when we try to enact what our next step is without, like for me, holding on to my faith in my relationships and like my trust of a circle of people, we get reckless and we're like just trying stuff. So like this conversation comes up all the time with like my kids who are getting to that age where they, they're like, ooh, boys, or, it's mostly my daughter. My son is asexual at this point, which I'm thankful for. He's just interested in soccer. But like my daughter's got like the, ooh, boys are cute thing going on, which is terrifying. Enjoy the next 10, 12 years. And she, when can I date? When can I have a boyfriend? And I'm like, never. Or, like you can start looking for like someone you want to marry when you're 18. Like that's how I feel about it. I think dating culture is just like wrecked in society. To the point where we don't even do that anymore, right? We just have like apps that match people, and you just hope for the best. So, like even that, gosh, you should bring someone on and talk about that. But I had this 6-7 week kind of like dating thing, and it was just a mess, and it was awful. And it's like like alignment between people is so important. And it caused probably 6 months of pain. And like the good thing out of this is like I was fortunate to have a great family and like involved parents. And my mom walked in my room and she said, "Is this the one?" Like very brazen. Like, "Hey Nick, this isn't the one, but I'm just posing the question to you because you're not going to listen to me." And I was like, I mean, whatever. I'm just like, just meeting people and like just figuring it out. And she was like, "Is this the one?" And coming from like, Christian family, "Is this the one God has for you?" 9:45 at night, standing in my doorway, just calling me out. And I was like, "No." She said, "Okay." And she left. And then I had to wrestle with that for like a day. Oh, truth hurts. Truth is hard. There was a plan for that. I just couldn't see it. So I was trying to create it. And I think it's an important thing for like young people for sure. But I mean, I think it goes with any type of decision. You need to have those standards for what is for you. And compromise is gross when you look back on it. So like, I don't have many regrets in my life, but like that time I go, probably would have avoided that at all cost if I could just see the future of what that is and like what was actually in front of me. So
yeah,
that was hard.
Pass.
I wish I passed. I hear you though.
You have a chance.
I'm going to save my pass for.
There's another token.
I don't want to do that to you.
I already prepared to share whatever I was going to share. But if you're not going to double down on me, then
I'm not going to double down.
I'll keep the pass.
I'm a nice guy.
It's there for you to use it whenever you want. I appreciate you sharing that. I didn't want to. Yeah, that's
Oh wow. Well, here you go.
Compromise isn't good.
I'll just use it on this. It's like the same question. It doesn't have to be, but if you could make a change to one thing in the past, what would it be and why? What do you think the outcome would be if you did?
When I was 21 years old, I met a lady who was 28. She had a kid. We were in a close-knit young adult church ministry, not the church I go to now, probably a couple of churches ago. And she was separated from her husband, which I thought it was divorced in the very beginning, and then I realized it was separated. And we started dating, not like as soon as I met her. Like we're like, how young adult communities work. Like everyone's friends. You go on like ministry trips together. You go to do retreats together, and it's completely wholesome and not weird at all. It's just like very platonic. And those friendly platonic group encounters kind of developed there was an emotional connection that developed there. Mm-hmm. So after maybe knowing this lady for 6 months to a year, we started dating, and it was an unhealthy relationship, about two or 3 months long. And I would go back and change that. I remember at one point I learned that it was not divorce, it was separation, and I continued to, in my head, in my heart, I justified why it was still okay,
right,
to continue. And that is a moral failure, a point of compromise in my life that I wish I could, I would have done something different. Yeah. Mm. And it's a good point too, like in the middle of church atmosphere, I chose a wrong path, surrounded by godly things, godly people, godly influence. yeah, it was a good wholesome environment, and I still found a way to choose a path that wasn't for my best.
Right.
And yeah, big regret.
Yeah. No,
I would change that. What about you? I guess is the same question, so it's the same answer.
no. I mean, I actually have a different one.
Okay.
So, buddy of mine, friends for years and years and years. It's funny, all these things are relational. He was making his own way, kind of like what I was doing, and met a young lady, and like in our faith, we talk about like the equal yoke, right? And that doesn't mean like we're both Jewish or we're both Christians or whatever. Like it's actually a standard and conviction of living and understanding, or in our context, revelation, right, of who we are. And it was just like not equally yoked. Like anyone could see it. And, they dated for a year and then got engaged. And I was like, ooh. But I was young and immature. So like even though I saw it, I was just like, I didn't have the stones to go, hey bro, this girl that you love, she's not the one. And this is why. And I tell you this because I love you. So I kept quiet, and they got married, and it was bad. And it set like, one of my dear friends back years. And I guess maybe the good thing out of it, like maybe why I have such a strong conviction about it now is, he eventually moved back, and because they actually got married, and then like they just moved west in like full isolation, and like the whole thing was just like you could see it from a mile away.
The road signs of red flags was cliff coming,
Absolutely brutal.
10 miles, cliff coming 5 miles, abrupt cliff, drop off to your death coming 2 miles.
Yep.
You could see those moments.
And they separated and eventually divorced, which like divorce is awful. Like I don't prescribe to it. We lay in the bed that we make. He comes back and like we were hanging out and having a deep conversation, and oh man, I just wish I like pushed back on you a little bit. And he was like, there was a point in time where if you did, I would have really considered it. And like just a huge regret, like, okay, I have 2 regrets, but
yeah,
it was a regret for someone else that I didn't have the confidence to like lean into my intuition around what it was. I could have acted, and even if it's not one of these things where I like, if I said it and he still went through with it and did it, well, he's on his own. Like I would never feel that way because I love that guy. But to hear that there was an opportunity was heartbreaking to me. Now, I mean, the good thing is like it's all worked out for good, right? He's got an incredible life and incredible family, and fortunately didn't have any consequences from that marriage of like, having children together and like all that crazy stuff. Like I can't even imagine. I mean, like, I'm like, if you have kids together, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
But, that's how I would feel, but, him, ugh, I just wish I said something. Because somebody did say something and it was too late. It was a week before they were going to get married. And it like sent him over the edge. He was like, how could you do this? Which is probably part of the reason why like they fled and went to the other side of the country, and everyone's against us and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the outcome would have been better.
I think it just speaks to the blinders we put up on our own lives. Like when I was in that relationship in my early 20s, like I was in another relationship that was actually a pretty wholesome relationship, but we weren't equally yoked. Like the person was the most introverted, reserved, never want to leave the house person, and I'm the most like, not the most, but I like to consider myself
Pretty outgoing.
adventurous, outgoing. Let me work the groups of people at the cocktail party type, right? And so there was just that created constant friction. Those are two examples, but they reflect a personality matrix, right? That I'm presenting to the relationship, that she was presenting to the relationship, and it just caused friction. And I remember about a year into dating this. I remember another lady from the previous story. My parents pulled me aside at a like a retirement party for my grandmother or something, separately, like hour one, mom, hour 1 hour 47 minutes in, dad, and of course they planned it, but it's like to me it was like separate, two separate events,
Right.
And I was in a stage of like, I'm not rebelling against my parents, but like I'm doing my own thing. Like I don't really listen to. But they both gave me this advice: hey, this girl's not for you. You done it for about a year. We see it. It's not a fit. Both said the same thing. And I took that advice and I look back on my life and I'm like, wow, they were so right. I would have been miserable. Someone who never wants to go anywhere. And it's not like she's right for someone, right? It's not that she's a bad person.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Someone who's more closely aligned to that way of life, like a homebody, like severe homebody. Like I want to go out in public once a week or once every other week, whatever. I'm just giving examples. That wasn't for me. Like I'm a man of the people, you might say. And anyway, so that advice is the point was, it was the thing that caused me to tick in the other direction, to pivot my choices and then break up with her. And it was difficult. It was emotionally difficult. It was hard. It was tough. But it was for the best. And to my knowledge, now she found someone who's happily married. I don't really keep up with her, but it's like we both found our people. And so it was for the best for her. Like I made a choice that was good for her in that moment, even though I don't want to be with her the rest of my life, love her, etc. I made a choice that was hurtful to her and hurtful to me in that moment, but it's actually been better for her because she found someone who's more compatible. And I found someone who's a lot more compatible. And so the point is, don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to say those things to those people. Do we have one more, or is this like a spillover? Let's see.
I think it's one more.
One more. Fun one.
Is it
just
fun?
for funsies?
I don't remember now.
It's mine.
Oh, it's yours.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Would you move? I did 2 moves, Moon and now this one. Yeah. Would you, actually 3, Asia. I guess it just travel. Just
seems like you want to move.
I just want to travel. Would you move to a fully functioning underwater base in the ocean?
No.
Why not?
Absolutely not.
Why not? You don't want to live in Atlantis? Imagine like the globe and you just see there's lights illuminating everything around you. It's not dark. Like there's a way to make it like vibrant. You've fabricated ecosystems of like growing crops down there somehow with oxygen. I don't know how it works, but like you have a vibrant ecosystem that's just like in this, obviously like a globe or a dome, and then you can just see everything, all the sea life. I don't know.
How big's the water slide?
I imagine it would be like an underwater elevator. You get in and then you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe like a diagonal. You'd come in from the shore like a train, like the bullet train.
I could see why some people would go, that would be really cool. This is a me thing. As stated previously, I'm not a big fan of cruises. Like the idea of being on a boat that I can't escape in the middle of the ocean unless it comes to port is like, I'm not an anxious person, but that provides anxiousness for me.
That's your version of the 200-year restriction. Your options are locked in on your physical immediate exit, whereas mine was like my life exit.
Yeah, I value autonomy. So, while there are things here that keep me here, they don't have to. I could buy a plane ticket and be anywhere I want to be in a number of hours. Will I exercise that? No, probably not, but I can. And that makes me feel less anxious. So yeah, the underwater utopia of Dome, while I could see there, like maybe it'd be an interesting visit for sure. Living in any form of capacity would be like a non-starter for me. I mean, so I was I was working on a software deal with I think it was out of the UAE, something like that, and they have some crazy hotel that is has rooms like underwater, and it was like the place to be. And it's like, like it's like a Marriott or something, but it was like $200 a night. It was like in the budget for the business, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't think so. I was just like,
because of the anxiousness.
I'm good.
You should have done it.
Like, the deal didn't close, so luckily I didn't have to. I didn't have to make this decision. But even that, I was just like, oh, that feels a little.
It didn't spark excitement.
No, it
sparked.
It feels
anxiety.
like a prison to me a little bit, which may be completely nonsensical, but that's the emotions that well inside of me around that. Where I guess like if I was like, hey, you're going to stay in this tower and it's like, 80 stories high, that's interesting to me. But also I can leave it at any time. So yeah.
Have you ever hiked into the Grand Canyon?
Around I have.
I know you'd been like more than once, so that's why I asked. And if you had, I was going to compare being at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. What is the bottom, right? Being 2 hours down and in the Grand Canyon is very similar to being on a cruise ship or at the bottom of the ocean, where you can escape, but if like something prevents you, like an injury to your ankle or something, it's like you are, you got to wait for the guy with the mule to come by and get you. So it's like, it's a slightly different. It's a rough, analogy.
It's a good analogy though. Like, but that doesn't strike me the same way.
Yeah, because there's air above you.
Yeah, and it's like it's this abundant nature, right? So like one of my favorite things about like going to national parks, especially in our country, is like the diversity of it. So like when you go to Glacier National Park in Montana, you feel so small. And not every park is like that. But there, I think like Yosemite would feel like that too. But you're standing in this valley with these mountains just running to the side. And you're like, I am nothing. I'm a little thing in the grass. And there's probably a grizzly bear over there, ready to make a meal out of me.
Imagine that from the
that feels
moon base.
Cool. But from the moon base, there's no grizzly bears that are going to eat me.
No, but the how small you are, that revelation of how small you are. Imagine that.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do a weekend on the moon on Chase points.
You got to use a credit card rewards.
If my credit card rewards are paying for the trip, I might do a long weekend. But
you're not in the first 1,000 though. You're like after millions of people have gone. Perhaps.
Yeah, because I think for some people they'd go, that would be otherworldly. Like, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay. There's otherworldly things here that don't have a similar amount of, I guess this comes down to risk tolerance. I'm just like, I just don't think I want to strap a rocket booster to my back and fly to space. I've just never, it's never appealed to me. And like, I think as like we grew up and we like learn about the space program and like all the things they do and the gazillions of satellites we have out there, you just go, oh, that's cool. It's like a new frontier. And I'm like, the frontier here is awesome. Like the frontier of Everest is awesome enough, for me. So, and I'll never do that. But I never say never, but Caroline wants to like hike something ridiculous, I think in Africa. And I'm like, maybe.
Kilimanjaro.
Yeah. Which apparently you can just hike it.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually climb it, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's in Kenya or Uganda. One of the two. Or near.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident it's Kenya or Uganda. Kenya or Uganda, excuse me. Yeah, there's so much to see in the world.
So much, and there's so much here. And I think that's one of the, like, about this, but like we're trying to take our family like to all the places. And we usually knock off, 3 or 4 a year. National parks specifically. There's going to be a few that'll be difficult. There's some that my kids are going to have to do that with their spouse or their family. You know, we're not going to be able to do all of them, but I think we're up to like 19.
There's 40, right?
I think it's 60.
Is it that many?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There's a lot. And we just knocked one off the list, this week, down in the Everglades, which is not quite the same as like Yellowstone or, but like I lived down there as a kid. So like, I was like, we're going for an airboat ride. Like that is a unique thing that you don't get to do everywhere.
Louisiana and the Everglades. Those are your only
That's
places.
it, right? And like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't see one alligator in the wild because we repel all animals. Everywhere we go, we never see animals.
Really?
It's crazy.
Is it the scent?
Must be.
Even in the zoo, you don't see them.
The zoo, they always hide. No, I mean, we get lucky at the zoo, I guess. But,
Yeah.
but I mean,
They're trapped.
I think Yellowstone is the only place where we actually saw like a lot of, and they're known for that, right?
yeah.
So it's like you kind of like,
Buffalo, elk.
you go there and on a certain road and they're just everywhere. We did see a bear when we were there.
7 a.m., 6 a.m.
No, it was kind of middle of the day.
I heard you had to go really early to see the bear. When we did Yellowstone, like I'm talking, we drove in for a couple hours and then drove out. Like it was a quick tangent off Bozeman, and we saw a wolf and a bunch of elk.
I saw a gray wolf on a ridge, which those
Yes.
are like very, very rare.
Yeah, it might have been gray. I don't know. I saw it from like probably a mile away with binoculars.
Yeah, binoculars for
Yeah.
us. It was on the ridge line of where all the other animals were. And, we had like bison walking around everywhere. But yeah, we didn't see probably as much as you would think, but we definitely saw some animals, but it's kind of like its own zoo. So like they're there. But yeah, other places, like I've been to Glacier 5 times. I've seen one goat, and there's wildlife everywhere. Literally repel them. They're like, Italian Americans away. So
Nick, thanks for coming. I had a good time. Thanks for doing
Thanks
the
for having
inaugural.
me back.
Yeah, thanks for doing the inaugural, or I don't know what this is. The bowl. I didn't name it. I got to come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
The mystery bowl something. I'll come up with a fancy name.
Mystery American Flag Bowl
Yeah.
of your sponsor here.
Yeah, exactly. A little, just on the screen right there for it. Before we go, I want to ask you, what was your favorite thing we talked about today? Out of all the topics, it was what you did 8, and I did 6. So plus the speed round. So I'm not good at math. What is that, like 100? 14 topics.
I honestly liked your questions about living in all these weird places.
I didn't realize
Because
that.
I'd never really thought through how I actually feel about that. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Clearly I had a quick reaction, but having to rationalize that and go, do I actually feel this way? I think is what's cool about talking to people. So
Yeah. I don't know what mine is. I'd think about it. I like talking about Holland
yeah,
and
which that is
and space.
soon.
And space. I know. We wrap up.
We're getting right on it.
I hope they win. I like England, but I really am rooting for Holland right now.
I don't know. We're in July. I still don't like England right now. In August, I'll get over it.
Yeah. It's last for a month. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, man. It was awesome.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be notified every week when we launch new episodes. I'll see you then.